It's mostly people tuning in to laugh, not to admire. Hey guys, we're opening the room up 2 minutes late. You guys can roll into the room a little bit and hopefully populate the room a little bit. And we will kick everything off in about 2 minutes. So roll on into the room and enjoy the chat for right now.
All the pictures are of him as a woman. Well, yeah, basically.
No, dig a little deeper.
I'm trying. I see it. Wait, was he an airline stewardess or something?
Dude, I told you I saw that.
I think that's stewardess. I think you pronounced that wrong.
Stewardess.
Yeah, you have to roll that S a little bit. Stewardess.
Okay, that's really messed up because he does actually kind of look like.
Dude, I thought I was wrong. I'm just saying. That's tough, huh? That's tough.
That's tough. I see it. I can see it.
Paul sees it too. You just don't want to admit it. I can't unsee it.
I know. I keep getting deeper and deeper into this. Someone already has side by sides of Ben Shapiro and Dylan.
Dude, stop.
They do.
The internet always wins, man.
It always comes through.
Oh, that's so brutal.
Poor Ben.
Benny loves it. Oh yeah.
We are talking. Somebody's asking what we're talking about. We're about to go over it real quick on the show. Actually, we just struck 8:00. So we're going to get rolling. Guys, welcome to the Thinktown podcast on another Monday night. This is episode number 8, actually. And we have some cool stuff to talk about tonight. Again, we have Kendall and Mackenzie, as always. We are missing Chad tonight. Chad's at a soccer banquet right now. I see where his priorities are. So nevertheless, thank you guys for actually joining us. We're going to jump straight into some things right now. First of all, I want to remind everyone, if you see the AR-15 over my shoulder here, we do have a gun giveaway that we're doing on Thinktown podcast and Legally Armed America, where we're giving away this Tippmann Arms 22 long rifle. It's actually an exclusive edition for Gun Owners of America. It's kind of a one-off thing that they're making right now, limited edition. Don't know how long the run is going to be that they're actually going to make these. But again, they are in 22 long rifle. Excellent option right there for plinking, maybe teaching a young one how to entertain guns and maneuver their way around them, teaching them a little bit of gun safety, and how to be safe around guns, how to handle them properly, a little bit of responsibility. So you may want to check that out. What you need to do is go to Thinktown Podcast. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Thinktown.live. So Thinktown.live online, not .com, Thinktown.live. And you're going to see the contest on there. All you do is enter the contest by either following Legally Armed America. You will, I think there's several different ways, like following Thinktown Podcast on YouTube as far as subbing, following or liking on Facebook, I believe Instagram also. You can refer friends to get additional entries. All these are ways to get additional entries, and daily you can actually enter the contest. We'll be giving this away, I believe, I think it's at the NRA show next month in Indianapolis. We're going to be announcing the giveaway. So we'll announce it there in Indianapolis. I'll be up there for a few days in the Rock Island Armory booth signing some of my books. So you might want to check that out. We'll be live streaming from there as well. So, but again, check it out. Tippmann Arms was kind enough to make this for Gun Owners of America. Again, it's in 22 long rifle, and Tippmann hooked us up so that we could have a cool little giveaway for you guys. So you want to follow, all you got to do is follow. All you're doing is either checking in on the Legally Armed America newsletter or following Legally Armed America or Thinktown Podcast. And all those are additional entries. And just a quick side note real quick, those additional entries do make a difference. We actually had a 1911 that we gave away a couple of years ago, and we can see the type of entry that the customer or the person, the entry is one off of. And one guy won a 1911, not from his original entry, but from one of his referrals to a friend who then entered the contest and gave him an additional entry, and that's how he won. So by referring your friends or getting additional entries on a daily basis, you can definitely, that'll certainly increase your chances to win. We're going to jump right into things, guys. Again, we've got Mackenzie and Kendall with us tonight, minus Chad, and we want to talk a little bit about those of you that have been following Legally Armed America this week. You'll know some of the hot things that have been going out there, and really topics of discussion that have kind of consumed the airways. More notably, everything that surrounded the Nashville shooter. We all remember that was a trans shooter, which oddly enough, instead of being a guy pretending to be a woman, it was a woman pretending to be a guy, which is really unusual for that kind of abnormality to be with a woman. On top of that, to be a, quote, school shooter. That's just not typical. That's a very non-typical thing to happen. But got a lot of traction, got a lot of discussion. We saw a lot of people defending that whole situation. I'm not going to talk about all the Nashville stuff because, again, you guys watch my Legally Armed America channel. You've seen it already. But nevertheless, it's odd that so many things were stoked and ginned up over this story to the point where people found themselves defending the actual killer, the trans person who did the murdering of the children and the innocent people. And that really caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting some of the usual suspects that you would expect to do weird, stupid things like the White House, like their press secretary. I wasn't expecting them to actually flip this and not talk about the Nashville shooting or the shooter, but to say that there are some things happening out there that are unfortunate because it's drawing unnecessary negative appeal. And they sat there and defended the trans community. And that really kind of surprised me, even for these people. It still surprised me that they would do that. So before we go into what our main conversation was going to be, Kendall and Mackenzie, I want to get y'all's thoughts on that. I mean, again, I can predict most of what these wackos are going to do, the White House, the far left community, all that. I usually know where they're headed. And I really didn't see them taking a stand and flipping the script and making it about, oh, the poor trans community. I mean, really, they abandoned the dead children and dead innocent people immediately and turned this into we have to be careful and take care of our trans community. What's y'all's thoughts on that? Kendall, let me go to you first.
I guess it's their typical play. It's their go-to. It's their they'll use a situation like this to exploit an agenda. And I mean, you look at it, and if you're the father of the little girl or one of the children that were shot, or a family member, it doesn't matter who it is, and the last thing you want to see is the president of the free world, let's face it, the free world, the face of the free world, defending some cowardice, and the whole thing starts off bad from his standpoint of the White House, period. But I'm specifically talking about Biden's little speech he gave. I like ice cream. Oh, I like chocolate chip. And what is this guy talking about? Where is the reverence? Where is hey, can we just have just 2 seconds of silence for the families, the children lost by just such cowardice acts by an adult? You would think that he'd take some kind of stance, some kind of, maybe some crazy left wing, you got to really start checking these people we're giving guns to, background checks or something. But not even that. He starts with the ice cream and it just goes in a direction that's just so offensive, man. But that's our leader, man. That's our guy representing us. And I hate to say, it's just gotten to a point where I'm not even surprised anymore. The stupider, the crazy shit that comes out of his mouth, the bumbling and all the just, I'm never truly amazed. When the next one comes out, it's almost like it's a train wreck, man. You were watching something. It's like an SNL skit back when SNL was good before they sucked. You can't even, I guess, imagine where he's going to come from. I was appalled by it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, as physically ill as it made me to hear all of that, I actually wasn't surprised at all that they took up for the trans person, the woman. They were trying to justify, people calling her the wrong pronouns as if that's what mattered in that moment. It didn't surprise me one bit because that's what their agenda's been for a very long time, and they can't go against it now. They fought really hard for their trans rights, and that's what our office has been about since he's come into office and even before that. So no, sadly, it didn't surprise me at all. And I think it's just going to get worse. It's not about the kids. And Joe Biden, like Kendall said, Joe Biden literally proved that in his post speech, not even addressing it, no tears in his eyes, no sympathy, no empathy, no absolutely nothing. Talking about ice cream. If that doesn't show anybody what our country is, how our country is being ran, then I genuinely have no idea what these people are looking for at this point. Like, I don't know what they see, but no, I'm not surprised.
Well, and I'm not saying that Biden won't try to pull some kind of, I guess, photo op moment out of this, because he always tends to. But if you'll notice that in many cases, you're not going to see Joe Biden visit places like the Mexican border, where it's completely porous.
Right.
You won't see him visiting Ohio, where we're killing hundreds and thousands of fish, wildlife, and eventually people with the horrible rail accident over there. And you typically will see him, however, go to the scene of mass shootings. He's not been announced yet that he's going to this one. So we have 3 9-year-olds, 3 adults, 2 people that worked actually 3 people worked at the school. One lady was actually a substitute teacher. Horrible timing there, man. So I wonder if he'll go to Nashville. No, I'll answer that right now. He won't.
It's too late.
Well, the problem with that is it'll cast a little bit of shade on the trans community, and they can't possibly be seen doing that because they're the champions of the trans community right now. And they can't possibly go over there to look like, one, they're siding with Christians, because these were Christians who were shot and killed. Let's not make no mistake. This was a church campus with a school on it that they went to. And this person's manifesto, if it ever comes out, I don't know that it ever will. I've said this on my other channel that I don't think this will ever come out, because it will simply state in there that I went to this campus to kill Christians because they didn't accept me for being a trans person. There's no way that the White House can spin that.
She had a personal vendetta against that location.
Correct. That's exactly right. And I feel like they have to distance themselves from this, because they certainly don't want to seem like they're siding with Christians, and they certainly don't want to seem like they're picking a Christian over a trans person. This is the fight they've chosen. They have chosen to defend that area of the populace, which is 0.03 or 0.003% of the population, which you would think that's a stupid choice to make. The sad thing is there's so many neurotypical people who aren't mentally unstable, like the trans community, who actually believe all of that crap and garbage. I have something I want to point out real quick. One thing, the main textbook that psychology patients will read, and this is like the Bible of the mental health community, is the DSM-5 book. Oh, guess what? Guess who's got one? I have a DSM-5 book. The DSM-5 book is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. I'm a nerd. This is my light reading. This is the kind of dumb stuff that I read in my spare time.
Yeah, you won't find Kendall and I reading that.
So if you flip to page 451. Now remember, let's be slow about this. Look at the title of the book, right? Mackenzie, tell me what that says.
The title, Diagnostic. Yeah. Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, 5th edition.
All right, Kendall, I want you to read this. Look what's on page 451.
Gender dysphoria.
Okay.
I can't see the small print.
This isn't included in here to say that gender dysphoria is not a mental disorder. That's not why they included it. They included this whole chapter on it because it is a mental disorder. I've had people arguing with me for the last week. Oh, it's not a mental disorder. I can't believe I've got trans friends and you're saying that they're all okay. Let me be real clear. I never said that they were all killers. I never said that they were going to mow down a bunch of children like their other colleague did. What I said was they are all mental. They all have mental disorders. Now, there's a lot of mental disorder people in this country who function
doesn't make you a bad
fine.
person.
No, I mean, depression is a mental disorder. I'm not saying everybody who's depressed is a serial killer. I'm just saying that it is a mental disorder. Again, you classify it how you want. If you want to get overly offended and think that somehow or another I'm saying that they're all mentally retarded, that's fine. You did that, not me. I did not say that.
Right.
What I did say, it was a mental disorder, and it absolutely is. It's classified as one. These people are not 100% healthy in the mind because they believe something that is not happening and is not true. So that's where I think that we're at right now, is that we have so many people out there that will side with the wrong side just because it's the cool thing to do. And I'm certainly not bashing social media, because guys, we're on social media right now, right? That's where we all live. That's where we function. And that's where we do things to reach out. And I feel like we probably get equally as a good amount of stuff out of social media as we do the bad stuff. I mean, let's be real here. I think we all benefit from social media. How many times do you fix something in your house because you search for something on social media? So it's definitely very helpful, but clearly we create these weird little stupid cliques that now if somebody needs to put a little rainbow colored ring around your Facebook picture, that's the new cool thing. Oh, did you see what Janet has? Oh my God. Now she's got a trans. Yeah, that's right. She's got a trans ring of inclusion around her picture. Oh my God, Janet, where did you get that, girl? You know what I mean? That kind of stupid stuff. It's like we want to be accepted into these stupid little cliques so badly that we'll do some of the stupidest stuff, which is to align ourselves with some of the most mentally unstable people in the country. So that's something that I see this administration siding with that group, and it blows my mind that they would be so overtly obvious about what they're doing here. Because let me tell you something, you can attract a whole lot of people, just like people who voted for Trump. You can attract a whole lot of people out in the open, because no one wants to be seen as transphobic, if you want to call it that. I'm using their word. That's not a real word, and that's not a real thing, but that's what they're calling it. Somehow or another, if you don't believe that a man can be a woman, you're transphobic. Whatever, call me what you want. I'll wear that hat proudly. But for some reason, they want to believe that kind of stuff openly because it's the accepted thing to do. I don't think that they believe this stuff behind the scenes, and I think they may not say it ever out loud, but I don't think they fully support that. And that's like the whole Trump thing. What did they in Trump's election, the first one? What they say the night of the election, he had a 2% chance of beating Hillary Clinton, a 2% chance of beating Hillary Clinton, and he stomped her. Some other ones were saying that Hillary Clinton had a 97% chance. It was a totally different poll of beating Trump. My point is, people would not say they were going to vote for Trump because it wasn't the cool thing to say on social media. So that's what I'm saying. Social media has ruined a lot of this stuff because people won't say what's really on their mind like they used to. When you just, hey, bro, what do you think about this? Oh, man, I think that's crazy. Well, now they're afraid to, because then they'll get drugged on social media. Somebody will take a screenshot of their post and post it to everybody else and say, oh, look, Paul's a bigot. Look what he thinks. He doesn't believe that somebody should be trans or whatever, or be able to celebrate that trans.
It's happened to me a time or 12.
Well,
I just a question, and it's sort of not on topic of what we're even talking about, but I kind of wonder if you don't think that this has any, fallout because of his stance on this whole Willow project. I feel like, is he kind of overcompensating? Oh, look, I'm still a lefty. Look at me. I'm pro, trans. I'm for this pipeline, which is against everything in their fiber, right? But, oh, hey, don't forget, I'm a tranny supporter. Do you think that that's trying to pull his base back?
I think they're reaching for anybody to be part of his base right now. He's having a tough time holding on to any kind of a substantial base whatsoever right now. I think they're just like throwing things against the wall, trying to make something stick.
He has no evangelicals. So don't support the church or the people that got shot up, right?
Well, that's what's sad too. There's still a lot of people who probably are, and I'm not making this a Christian or non-Christian thing, but there's still a lot of Christian people who would support Joe Biden in spite of the fact that he celebrates abortion, trans stuff, and all that. But that's just the way it is. I mean, a lot of people are hypocrites. There's people that are Christian, non-Christian that are hypocrites. So it's certainly not just that group of people. I can promise you that.
Right.
Mike, good morning, or good evening, Mike. Good to see you again. I want to let's stay to this same theme, but let's go to a little bit lighter topic so we can all have a good laugh. Many of you have probably seen this nonsense, and I gotta say, if you get past the sickeningness of it, there you go. Minnie says, anyone in the mood for a Bud Light? Here, Minnie, this is for you.
Not particularly.
This is for you, Minnie. I'm going to share this. If you guys have not seen this, this is both hilarious and really sad. So I want you guys to watch this. This segues right into what we were talking about. Go grab you a beer. Hopefully not this one.
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us. So I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate.
Celebrate.
This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can.
Okay, wait a second. I got to stop this.
Who drinks Bud Light?
Well, not me. That's for sure. But this person just said their 365th day of womanhood. And this dude is one good shave away from a 5 o'clock shadow and sitting here talking about his year of womanhood. Look, I mean, talk about lipstick on a pig. I mean, this is the epitome of lipstick on a pig. All right, let's let him finish.
Possibly the best gift ever, a can. My day 365.
Hold on.
This month, I celebrated my day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it. Check out my Instagram story to see how you can enjoy March Madness with Bud Light and maybe win some money too. Love ya. Cheers. Go team. Whatever team you love.
He doesn't even drink Bud Light.
Okay. Love ya. Okay.
All right.
Love. A lot of love going on there.
I don't think there's much love going on right there. I'm pretty sure that. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I see Daniel in here says DNA tells no tales. Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. We can start looking at DNA and maybe counting some chromosomes. I mean, just because you have one of the chromosomes of the opposite sex doesn't mean that you can fake the other one. There's only two combination, and you're not fooling me by sitting here acting like you got the whole was it the XY thing happening right here? So
full on.
What a weird tactic. Like the marketing for that was just so strange to me. Like weird timing, first of all.
Yes.
Odd choice. Like it doesn't make any sense. Go team. Like what? Who's your target here?
But obviously not a beer drinker either.
Or a sports fan.
But what? Okay. Beer drinkers, yes, women drink beer, right? Mackenzie, don't some women drink beer?
Totally.
But aren't most of your beer drinkers dudes? I mean,
I would say so.
A lot of them have got to be guys. I mean, when you go tailgating, you know, you may see some wine coolers and some other stuff, guys hitting the whiskey or whatever, but inherently you're going to see most of them banging down the beers. What target audience do they think that they're targeting with this?
That's what I'm saying. The whole thing is so weird. Like, where did they think this was going to go other than they're trying to be inclusive and prove a point?
Yeah. Like at the Anheuser-Busch boardroom, guys, I got an idea. Oh, really? Gary got an idea. What is it, Gary? Okay, hear me out. There's this guy who dresses like a chick. Really obnoxious, really annoying, doesn't really pull off the whole chick thing very well because still looks like a straight up dude. But let's put her picture on a can and sell it, and we'll get more people to buy beer. What the hell are they thinking? I mean, seriously, I don't understand how somebody said, Gary, that's a pretty damn good idea. I mean,
well, GD, Gary.
My mind. Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean,
oh,
like,
shit.
I can see this talk though. Like, okay, we got the Clydesdales. They've been kicking ass for like the last, I don't know, 100 years or so. We got the Clydesdales, really, really cool. And then we got Mulvaney. You guys in on this?
I see what you're putting down.
They've even had the commercials with the all those. They've had really good commercials over the years. I'm surprised they didn't put this one out during the Super Bowl, but I guess that might have been a little bit too push it. But yeah, I mean, your marketing budget's thin whenever this is the and you know what? This person's making money off of this too. To me, they're kind of mocking the whole Bud Light thing. In other words, you're a brand ambassador over here. You're supposed to, like, I don't know. When you're a brand ambassador, they're paying you to, like, be the epitome of the lifestyle of their product. You know, like I just happen to have a holster. Okay, I worked for a holster company.
The whole time you were playing that video, I was gonna say the whole time you were playing that video, I was expecting like real man of genius. Mr. Makeup put her on her to make her not look like a dude. But it didn't. It didn't come on.
It fumbled. No, I think Bud Light just shot themselves in the foot because any last man that did drink it is done. They gave it up.
Well, and the thing is, you've got like Jabiri 308 says Bud Light is never drinkable, so no worries, dude. That's me. I mean, I've literally had Bud Light in areas where there was literally nothing else, and I'll drink one or two and go, all right, I'm good. You know, after that, it's not a drinkable beer to me. So yeah, I totally feel that way, like you guys do. There we go. This is a good one here. This would have been a better brand ambassador, Zima. That would have absolutely been more believable. I could see old Dylan hitting some Zima rather than the Bud Light. I just don't see the whole beer thing. I mean, what would you do if that was beer? I mean, if you all of a sudden, they literally have this dude's face on the side of the cans. You imagine grabbing a 12-pack of that, going to hang out with your partners to barbecue and watch some basketball this weekend. You bust out a can with a tranny. You got a tranny with a can.
Especially if you got asshole friends like you, then you accidentally get one of these commemorative cases of beer. Like, bro, bam.
Yes. They missed the target.
That they definitely missed the target.
I'm like, I'm in marketing, and the only thing that has proven, like on a serious note, was to prove that Bud Light was inclusive, because otherwise I really think they shot themselves in the foot. Like, it was terrible branding. Terrible. And I'm not just saying that because it's a trans person. I'm just saying that's terrible marketing.
No, and
but I mean,
go ahead, Ken.
Any news is good news, and I think maybe they've accepted that whole deal. I mean, just like the whole Biden support, like nobody's supporting them. Let's come out and freaking do it, and we'll be the top of the freaking talking points of all the talking heads. I mean, I guess it gets us talking about it. So, you know.
Yeah, but it's Budweiser. Is Budweiser actually slumping that much in sales to where they feel like they have to do this? I don't see what they had to gain by this.
I think Budweiser's sales just went up.
Well, I would be willing to bet that with baseball swing being, did I say baseball swing? Baseball being in full swing right now, I'm curious to know how the parks are going to do that sell Bud Light, because if I see a friend of mine drinking Bud Light, yeah, we make some jokes. I can promise you that. There's going to be some tranny jokes
all day long.
So if I drink Bud Light, there's no way be seen, at least in the near future, drinking Bud Light around my partners. There ain't no way.
No.
I don't think I've ever seen Bud Light in my house.
No, I mean, I know I don't, and I don't know that I ever have here, but nevertheless, it's a funny thing to watch, but it's really sad because the one thing that I do want to point out that I've talked about in a lot of my videos, and I think that we can all probably agree on the same thing here. Said it in one of my videos the other day. People laughed about it, but I think most people got it. What I was trying to at least communicate is that, look, man, I'm a pretty a freedom kind of person. You leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. And like I said in the video, if you want to set your hair on fire and put things, but I don't care. Just don't get in my face and act like I have to accept the things that you're doing, because I don't do that. I don't get in your faces. Look at me. Look how straight I am. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I don't like the same things you like, but you have to accept this, and you have to acknowledge that what I do okay with you and all that kind of stuff. That's not the way. That's not the way you work. That's not the way to be inclusive. You can't force people to include you and to accept you. That's just not the way it works. In fact, in most cases, if you try to be forceful to get people to include you and accept you, you're going to do just the opposite, because most people don't want to be told what to do. Most people don't. So I see where they're going with this right now. And I don't think they realize that you be included by a whole lot of people out there. Again, they're not going to agree with and condone what you're doing as far as pretending that you're somebody else. And I call gender pretenders on my Legally on America channel, but that's not, we're not asking you to accept us. So stop asking us to accept you, because you can do your thing quietly and nobody's going to care. It's whenever you start bragging about what you do and putting in everybody's faces that you start really bringing people against you. And that's the problem here. You're making people dislike you that probably accepted you in the past, and now they're having enough of you. They're having their fill of it.
And that's where I'm at. I'm a very accepting person. All of this set aside, like, the choices that you make are yours. They're yours to make. And I can get along with just about anybody as long as you are not forcing an agenda down my throat.
Yep.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't care. Why are you?
Yeah. No, I agree with you though, Mackenzie. I'm the kind of person like, man, you do your thing. I don't sit there and make out my way.
If you're good to me, I'm good to you. If you respect me, I respect you.
Exactly right. But when you get somebody just shoving it down your throat 24/7, at some point in time, you get a belly full of it, and you're kind of like, bruh, I mean, obviously you're trying to push this whole deal, and I'm not buying. Okay, I'm cool about it, but damn, like, quit shoving it down my throat. So that's, right there with you.
Yeah.
Saying shove it down your throat. Did you want me to show the video again of Dylan? Is that what you were asking for?
Dude, I was going to say, what if he could just, I mean, that's a 12-ounce can, have been impressive. I mean, it wasn't like it was, a big boy or nothing. No tall guys. I'm just saying that would have been impressive. I could have went with a different marketing concept is all I'm getting at.
Yeah, terrible marketing.
I wanted to look at.
How about his arms, though? I can't stop staring at those arms.
Hey, all in all, I'll give him some credit. He does seem like a nice fella.
Dude, I thought this was Ben Shapiro playing a joke on everybody, to be honest.
Kendall.
Oh, there you go. That's the look I'm looking for. That looks like Kendall's got a relative that smiles like that.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
You are over the top. Absolutely so far over the top. I'm talking over the top with Sylvester Stallone. Arm wrestling movie.
I'm kidding.
Stop showing it.
Oh shoot. I gotta take that off of there. I can't even think straight. Look at that.
Oh my God.
That's so sad. So
I had to mute my microphone. Good Lord.
So I want to pull that picture up and see.
No, please don't.
Hold on. No, it's not what you're thinking. So I don't. Yeah. Let me see here. Let me stop that one and bring the other screen in here and see if. So Kendall thinks that Ben Shapiro looks like this tranny that we just had up here.
I'm not saying.
Tell me what y'all think. So let's see here. Let me get on the big screen.
There is an uncanny resemblance.
If he went as a girl for Halloween, I'm just saying.
I'm trying to get y'all in here. Here we go. I'm not trying to compare me to Ben Shapiro, by the way. There we go. So, all right. Does Ben Shapiro look like the Dylan dude?
He does.
Okay, this is pretty funny. Somebody made a joke here. That's pretty good. Did you just say I can't think straight? Yes, I can think straight. A lot of good one-liners in the comment section tonight. That's really the comment section kind of on fire right now. Oh, jeez. All right. So
Guys.
let me take Ben out of there because if you don't follow any of Ben's stuff, Ben's good. He's legit.
Yeah,
so
He's my favorite.
Yeah, Shapiro supporter right here.
Yeah, definitely. All right, guys. Quick, you guys in the comment section, let's do something kind of on the fly. Tell us what you want to talk about and bring us a topic. Kendall and Mackenzie, you guys choose what topic these people want to talk about. I'm letting you guys look in the comment section right now and pick somebody and let's talk about it, and I'll post their question or comment.
I have to go.
So, guys, go.
Give me a good one.
Yeah, guys, let's either ask a question or tell us a topic you want us to discuss. We got 20-something minutes left to go. And, real quick, while you guys are doing that, people were asking in the comment section, and we put into the title earlier, and people were asking, what did LSU do? I don't know if you guys saw, but LSU women won the national championship game in college basketball last night or yesterday afternoon. It was a really good game.
It was a historic game.
It was. I mean, it scored 102 points, first time ever in the women's national championship game. A lot of comments were going around about who was the girl who did? Yeah, was it
Reese?
Angel Reese.
Yeah, Angel Reese. The things that she did after the game, which was mimicking what Caitlin did in a previous game against Louisville. So I think a lot of people probably only saw the one game because obviously this was the championship game. Maybe not a lot of people watch the women's championship games or the Final Four. I mean, a bunch do, but I mean, obviously not what the men do. So most people are tuning into the championship game. And I think it just had a chance to look at that. Not saying either one of them were good, but look, it's sports, man. I mean, the heat of the moment, you're right in, if you feel like you've been disrespected, like Angel Reese thought she had been, and I think they kind of had. I mean, I don't think anybody expected LSU to be in the Final Four, let alone win the whole thing. So I think that had a little bit to do with it too. Mackenzie, I know you're a big fan. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, a lot of people, this is honestly a prime example of how social media just runs our lives and runs with things. So it went on social media and it took off, and people who didn't even watch the game were weighing in, and I saw some really horrible things, but I did watch a lot of it. And I've known who Caitlin Clark was for the last few years. I mean, if you watch college basketball, you know who Caitlin Clark is. She's a phenomenal basketball player. She's going to have a phenomenal career. Angel Reese, another phenomenal player. They're trying to compare the two, and they're two completely different athletes at two completely different positions with two completely different demeanors. And I played ball my entire life. I played very aggressive ball my whole life. I played AAU with boys. And I'm from the reservation, the Indian reservation. And so it's just we call it res ball because it's just it's a different type of basketball, honestly. And I was that aggressive player. So my emotions ran high. I had a huge passion for the game. And was it always like the most classy? Probably not. But I also think there's such a double standard when it comes to women and men's basketball or sports in general. When the men do it, it makes for good show. It's like a spicy, like, they love it. They love to see the men get aggressive. But as soon as a woman gets aggressive, it's not classy. So you need to sit down and be a lady. But that's not, if you've ever played sports in your entire life, it's not physically possible. And if it is possible for you to stay ladylike and classy, then you don't love the game enough. Like, you are not passionate enough. And I never condemned Caitlin Clark for her taunting. Honestly, I think she's a badass. Like, she has every right, and it spices the game up. I'm all for a little trash talk because out on the court, the cameras don't show it. Do you know how much trash talk goes on the court, especially between women? It's brutal. It's probably about the same as what men do on the football field, and cameras don't catch it. So Angel Reese just kind of got caught in the crossfire and in her emotions at the end on national television, taunting Caitlin Clark back.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be of the school that, you trash talking, at some point in time, somebody's going to bring the thunder. And if you're going to throw, dude, you've got some John Cena right there. You're going to put that up. That's you're leaving yourself open, and especially in a game, like basketball, where it's tit for tat, where
and of that caliber.
Yeah, so it's going to come back on you. And for everybody to kind of get in an uproar about, again, I mean, it kind of reminds me of like a league of their own. You know, like you had Dottie. She was like the classic, quintessential lady of the ball diamond, and then you had like Marla Hooch. You know, she couldn't balance a book on her head and shit like that. It's a great show. We actually watched it just the other day. But you have, like you said, different schools of thought that these are athletes. They want to win, and some at all costs. There's no level for that. And I guess I appreciate exactly your point, because they're not out there like sitting like a lady. No, they're diving for loose balls 2 rows deep, and they want to come up with it.
And it brought the views to women's basketball. Historically speaking, more people watch men's basketball over women's basketball. And they brought the fire, and that's exactly why people are watching. They're both phenomenal players.
And absolutely. What I kind of got a kick out of was leading up to the championship game, all the comparisons that people made either openly or in the news media of Caitlin Clark saying that how much she resembled Larry Bird. Well, she absolutely did, because if you knew anything about Larry Bird, you knew that he was one of the most brutal trash talkers in the game back then. I mean, that dude.
Iconic.
Oh, my God. If they had mics on those guys back then, I think fewer people would have liked Larry Bird. That dude was a freaking fierce competitor, and they said his tongue was just as evil as his long ball was. So, I mean, if you want to make that comparison, then you're probably in elite categories up there if you're being compared to Larry Bird, obviously in more ways than one, being compared and resemblances to. I can remember some of the battles between him and Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, even, and how brutal all that was. So
I just hope when they leave the court that they still respect each other, and most 9 times out of 10 they still do.
Okay, I think
lots of comments.
Kendall, you had mentioned this one right here, Kendall. Is that what y'all want to pick? I'm not picking it. You said it right before we went into the LSU conversation.
Yeah, I saw that headline pass across my phone today, and that comment caught my eye. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. Is that DeSantis trying to make that? Hey, I'll be a really badass president. Does he get the 2A supporters? Was that a?
Yeah, I don't know in this case. There's been a lot happening behind the scenes in Florida, and I would like to at least say that Gun Owners America did a huge job getting this to the desk of Ron DeSantis. They were massive in getting it there. They lobbied their butts off over there. In fact, the Republicans in Florida are probably some of the worst Republicans there are. I hate to use the term rhino, because that almost glosses over how horrible these people are as far as acting like they represent some certain populace, but they actually don't. They're like Democrats. And these people over there in Florida have been responsible. They've had majorities, the Republicans have, for a very long time in the state of Florida, and not had constitutional carry. I guess this could be considered a step in the right direction in Florida, but this is not constitutional carry. Constitutional carry would be, I'm not talking about what some people's definition of it is. I'm talking about whenever you're talking about being able to carry a gun based on the legitimacy of the Second Amendment. If you're calling it constitutional carry, then it should be based on the Second Amendment, right? You still can't open carry in Florida. So this is not constitutional carry. What this essentially is you don't have to have a permit to conceal carry, which is the stupidest thing in the world, which I don't agree with anybody having permits either way. But the weird thing is, just to give you an idea how states think differently, Louisiana, you actually can open carry without a permit anywhere you want. But in Florida, you can conceal carry anywhere you want, but you can't do the other without some kind of a permit or something like that. So Florida does not have constitutional carry. All they have is permitless concealed carry is what they have. They're misnaming it whenever they call it constitutional carry, because it's absolutely not. Until they can legalize open carry, which it's already legal per the Constitution, but nevertheless part of Florida law, until they legalize that, then they don't have it, and they need to stop calling it that. Now, to your point, Kendall, I do think that this is DeSantis' way. They kind of held DeSantis' feet to the fire on this, the lobbyists, for the part that are lobbying for this in Florida, simply because they were like, all right, I think they pulled DeSantis behind the scenes and said, Trump really isn't that pro-gun, talks, hey, pro-gun, turns around and does things that aren't very pro-gun. not wholeheartedly, but in a lot of cases, like banning bump stocks, saying that red flag gun laws were a good idea, things like that. So I think this was DeSantis's way to try to say, hey, look, I'm actually the pro-gun guy. Let's not forget, DeSantis has not declared his candidacy yet. He's not said I'm running for president. But Florida has a law that says that if you say you're going to run for president, you have to resign and vacate your seat that you're currently in. So he can't really say right now that he's going to run for president because he's still the governor, and he doesn't want to risk stepping down and all of a sudden Trump gets the spot and then DeSantis doesn't have a job. So what they're trying to do right now, and this is really strange, I'd pull it up, but it'd take me a second to scroll and find it. But the House of Florida is trying to pass a new bill that says you don't have to vacate your seat in order to run for presidency. And that probably has a pretty good chance of passing, actually. So this would allow DeSantis to go ahead and declare his candidacy without resigning as the governor of Florida. So that's a bill that just got put up last week. I don't know where it's at in the House or the Senate right now in Florida, but it just goes to show you that that bill would not be coming to light right now if DeSantis wasn't a true and legitimate contender going into the presidential nomination. A lot of people are saying, well, he hasn't really declared his candidacy. Well, this is why he hasn't done it yet. So I think he's definitely going to be running for president and declaring his candidacy very, very soon. Again, I think this is trying his notch to say. Now, I will say this about DeSantis, and I'm trying to drop truth bombs right here. I'm not trying to talk poorly or positively about either Trump or DeSantis, and I'm not picking a side from either one of those guys either. But DeSantis could have made constitutional carry be a real thing, like true constitutional carry, and he could have made it get to his desk before this year. He didn't push for that. Now, a lot of people say, oh, well, if it doesn't get to his desk, he can't sign it. You have to understand how politics works. If a governor wants a bill to come to his desk, he tells the House and the Senate, I need that to get to my desk. But if he doesn't want it to get to his desk, but he wants you to think that he wants it to get to his desk, he says in the headlines, if they put it on my desk, I'll sign it. But it never makes its way to his desk. He's never seen as the bad guy because it never made it there. So he never had a chance to sign it. That's what they've been doing for the last couple of years. They've been playing this game, making it not get to his desk. And this year, they kind of had their feet held to the fire. Again, I got to give credit to GOA. They did a really good job, along with some of the other local gun rights organizations in the state of Florida, did a really good job pushing these people to say, all right, DeSantis. In fact, I think DeSantis was actually on video, on record, where they kind of told him, if they get it to your desk, will you sign it? And he said yes. So then they started pushing everybody else to get it there. And I don't think DeSantis had a choice at that point. He pretty much had to. Whether he wanted to or not, I don't know, but he had to sign it.
I didn't know any of that.
Like it.
So I don't know. Just for those of you in Louisiana, I know that we have some people in here watching us from Louisiana. A lot of people have asked if we're going to have that very soon. Well, you'll remember 2 years ago that we actually did vote the House and the Senate both for a constitutional carry, true constitutional carry, no permits for anything. And what happened was the governor vetoed it. We called his bluff and they didn't think it was going to happen. Kind of like the dog chasing the car. What do you do when you catch it? And they actually got a veto override session. Oddly enough, the veto override session was simply not for the whole gun thing. It was because the Republicans had passed in the state of Louisiana one of those anti-trans bills. Funny that we're talking about this topic because it was basically a bill to say that guys can't go into women's sports and beat the brakes off of them and sit there and claim that they're a champion when they're actually boys playing in a girl's sport. Well,
they shouldn't.
That's right. So they voted for that, and the governor vetoed that. The governor said men should be able to go beat women up in high school sports. So that's why they held the veto override session that year. It wasn't for the gun thing. We just happened to have the gun thing also that year. And then the cowardly Republicans that they are, again, like I said, the dog, you catch the car, you don't know what to do with it. They bailed out. All of them that had voted for it to get it to the governor's desk, thinking he wasn't going to sign it, so they wouldn't really have to go through with it. Now they had it back on their plate again, and they bailed on it, and they allowed the governor's veto to stay in place. So it's sad to see how these people are and how hypocritical they are.
It's chicken shit.
It is. So, any other questions in the comment section, guys, that y'all want to talk about? We still got a bit to go here, about 10 minutes or so. So, if y'all want to bring something up, I'd love to. If you got a question for Kendall, Mackenzie, or myself.
Dude, I like the whole baseball talk. I'm a baseball fan. And I kind of like, are they gonna have chants and stuff if you order Bud Light? Like, what's really gonna happen? I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but I can just see that dude like 3 seats over, like, dude, 2 Bud Lights, and then obviously somebody calling them to task.
When that happens, you're gonna have that slow turn, like somebody's in a.
Yes.
And it'll be like, did you really just order a Bud Light?
Give me one of them Shapiro beers, one like that.
Want some peanuts with that Bud Light?
It's a good combo,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can't look at it the same now.
Kendall did not play hoops for anybody. My basketball stopped in middle school for the WWS
I've
Rebels.
seen him shoot my basketball, and it's horrendous.
I think I'm money in the bank. Raindrops. That's got to be one of the best movies, best scene of any movie.
Let's play the Lady Locker. I mean, dang, chat's pop. I can't keep up with it. I'm gonna have to scroll back up. Great crowd. Have eyes on your back to even get any snatch. I feel comfortable I'm carrying, in my opinion.
Tennessee hardening schools. That's something that is happening, that they're putting armed people into Tennessee schools. It's a shame it takes something like that, but I mean, that's what they're doing now. I think more people need to do that. I think a lot of the conversation we talk about many times is that you can harden a school and put people in a school that you're not forcing every teacher to have a gun. Like we've talked about it before. I mean, you're allowing teachers to have guns. Let them get a little bit of training, and hey, the school that got shot up in Nashville. I was on a private chat with some other people earlier from a gun organization, and they're trying to find out, see if there's any signs out there that have something to say about like people on site carrying, because supposedly this is a school that has armed security at it, not uniformed armed security. But I think one of the administrators and some of the teachers supposedly had guns at that shooting. I don't think any of them had their guns that day, which is kind of pointless. But it was reported that that school is one of the ones that supposedly has armed staff.
I didn't know that. Oh, well, it makes sense. What's those? Incarceration, letting more criminals out of prison, racism. Any thoughts?
I hadn't heard anything about that. The question is, today I heard California proposals decarceration, letting more criminals out of prison, racism. Any thoughts? I don't know anything about that.
Well, I knew they were starting to let criminals out, but I don't know much about it either.
Good news is they'd be crazy to leave California because they don't get put in jail or any charges brought against them. So at least they probably won't be coming over here.
And if they get their little stipend, that's kind of coming across, right?
Yeah. Guys, if y'all ready to get out of here, we can get out of here. Hopefully next week we have Chad back, because I'm not real good at doing a whole lot of this stuff and trying to put the videos on behind the scenes also.
We need the tech savvy man back.
Yeah. We need somebody. Let's see. Hold on.
I thought you did great with the Shapiro deal.
Well, if you want me to put that back on.
No, God, I can't unsee it. I don't want to see it again.
I'm just saying so
it does.
sad.
You sure?
Yes.
I mean, because we can definitely. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard to do. So before everybody goes.
I feel so bad for him.
Oh man, that person looks so familiar. I cannot put my finger on it. Oh geez. All right, so guys. Sad. You guys go have a non-Bud Light beer tonight. before you go to bed. Now, just as a disclaimer, Bud Light will not make you gay or trans. I just want to point that out. So,
dude, that is a good question.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that we're not. I don't want people to think that we're implying that it does. So if you,
is it going to be like cocaine and Coca-Cola?
No, because it doesn't make you skinny either.
That's right. Right. All right, guys. On behalf of Kendall and Mackenzie, you guys have a good night. We will catch you guys back here next Monday night. Hopefully we got a full crew then. Mackenzie, I hope you get to feel a little bit better. And
thanks.
Kendall, Mackenzie, thanks for joining us tonight. Enjoy the conversation.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you, Paul.
Night, everybody.